With every movie comes a unique story that blends with the others, but what also comes with it are pages and pages of fun trivia, Easter eggs, and facts about how each movie was made, as well as fun nods that directors inserted into the movies.
I understood that reference.
We've combed through countless pieces of trivia to bring you what we thought the best one was for every single movie in the MCU. Of course, if you're not completely caught up with all 19 movies, there might be some spoilers ahead, so be warned. It's pretty well known that Iron Man's Tony Stark is based heavily on Howard Hughes, but Robert Downey Jr. was also inspired by SpaceX CEO Elon Musk. In Tony Stark's garage, you'll spot an unreleased Tesla Roadster. Elon Musk even makes a cameo in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, good idea for an electric jet. You do?
Yeah.
Then we'll make it work.
The Incredible Hulk has a deleted alternate opening that features Captain America 3 years before his debut in the first Avenger. When Bruce Banner attempts suicide only to be thwarted by the Hulk smashes an ice lake. If you look close enough, you can spot Cap along with his shield frozen in ice. It has been confirmed by Spider-Man actor Tom Holland that a younger version of his character actually made an appearance in Iron Man 2. It turns out that Peter Parker was there as the little boy at the Stark Expo wearing the Iron Man helmet when the Expo was attacked by Hammertech drones.
Nice work, kid.
The crater created by the impact of Thor's hammer Mjolnir in the first Thor movie is the same design as Captain America's shield. The center where the hammer rests is almost the shape of a rough star, which then has two circles around it intended to be the stripes. When Tommy Lee Jones' character Colonel Phillips, Peggy, and Captain America are chasing the hydroplane in Schmidt's car at the end of the first Avenger, Colonel Phillips presses a red button with the letter K on it and the German word surrounding it, which translates in English to "Danger, do not push," sending the car speeding faster down the runway. This is a sly reference to Men in Black, where you'll remember Tommy Lee Jones' character Kay drives a car with a similar speed-boosting button. When on the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier in the first Avengers movie, the famous "That Man is Playing Galaga" line was ad-libbed by Robert Downey Jr. and worked so well that Whedon decided to insert an image of Galaga on the man's console as the scene's punchline. When Maya, Tony, and Pepper are discussing the huge stuffed bunny in the living room, you can spot that Tony has hung a stocking for Jarvis. The stocking is coincidentally the same colors as Vision, the android Jarvis turns into in Avengers Age of Ultron. In Thor: The Dark World, there's a scene where Loki impersonates Captain America. This is actually filmed with Loki wearing the Captain America outfit and doing an over-the-top impression of the hero himself. Chris Evans then came to the set and filmed the scene imitating Tom Hiddleston's impression of him.
Hey, want to have a rousing discussion about truth, honor, patriotism?
In Captain America: Winter Soldier, Steve Rogers carries around a catch-up list to try and help him fill in the gaps of all the pop culture events he missed while frozen. This list actually varies depending on what country the film is being viewed in. In the United States, his list features items such as I Love Lucy and Steve Jobs. The UK has The Beatles and Sherlock Holmes, AC/DC and Steve Irwin for Australia, and Daft Punk and The Fifth Element for the French version. Chris Pratt lost around 60 pounds for his role as Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is humorously referenced in Chris Pratt's show Parks and Recreation.
So the only thing you did was stop drinking beer?
Yeah, I lost 50 pounds in 1 month.
How much beer were you drinking?
I know, right? Probably too much.
Two bosses from the fictional Dunder Mifflin paper company from The Office make appearances in Avengers Age of Ultron. Idris Elba, who plays the Asgardian Heimdall, takes over Dunder Mifflin's Scranton branch as Charles Minor when Michael leaves to form his own company. And of course, James Spader, who voices Dan Mocap's Ultron, takes over as branch manager when Steve Carell leaves the show for good, but in a very Ultron-like manner, quickly talks his way into becoming CEO of the entire company. When Darren Cross finally becomes Yellow Jacket in Ant-Man, you'll probably notice a familiar sound coming from the suit's laser cannons. They are the exact same sound as an AT-AT's main gun from the Star Wars movies. Of course, Disney owns both Marvel and Star Wars. At the end of Captain America: Civil War, Steve and Tony are fighting hand-to-hand. This scene is extremely reminiscent of a fight that pre-Captain America Steve Rogers had with the Bully in Captain America: The First Avenger. In both fights, Steve Rogers is losing, but instead of staying down, gets up and speaks the line,
I could do this all day. I could do this all day.
In both scenarios, Steve is saved by his friend Bucky.
Hey, pick on somebody your own size.
Benedict Cumberbatch plays the hero in Doctor Strange. But did you know that Benedict also supplies the voice for the movie's main villain, Dormammu?
Actually, I can.
Doctor Strange is the only movie in the MCU where the actor plays both the hero and the villain. In Stan Lee's cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, he's discussing previous adventures that include his cameos in other Marvel films.
That time, I was a Federal Express man.
This is likely a nod to the popular theory that Stan Lee himself is a single cosmic entity that just chooses to follow around the characters that make up the Avengers.
Great effort.
When Tony Stark strips Spider-Man of the suit, Peter says that he's nothing without the suit, to which Tony responds,
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. Okay?
this is an obvious nod to the plot of Iron Man 3, where Tony was forced to try and take on the Mandarin stripped of his Iron Man suit.
4, 3, come on! 2! How did we get this shit?
Before all the sets for Doctor Strange were demolished, Thor Ragnarok's director, Taika Waititi, wrote and directed a scene featuring Thor meeting Doctor Strange. Not only does the scene fit Ragnarok's plot very well, it also helps bridge Doctor Strange from his standalone movie to the wider MCU. Part of the scene ended up being a post-credit scene in Doctor Strange as well. Black Panther co-stars Lupita Nyong'o and Winston Duke were students at the Yale School for Drama when the first Avengers movie was released. They saw the movie together and were both awestruck by it, hoping to get to star in a similar movie one day. Of course, they both went on to star in Black Panther, with Nyong'o playing Nakia and Duke playing M'Baku. Winston Duke also got to reprise his role as M'Baku in Avengers Infinity War. You may have noticed that Steve Rogers has a completely new look for Infinity War. This is because at the end of Civil War, he basically quit being Captain America. This happens several times in the comics, with Steve taking on the identity of the Nomad or just simply the Captain. Steve's new scraggly beard and darker costume are a combination of both of these characters. That's it for the entire MCU.